Imagine you have a system that gives you simple random tasks that, if you do them, will give you extraordinary abilities, but if you don't, there will be grave consequences. The scene opens with Zhang Yi, a handsome and sole male disciple of the Taoist sect, in the world of cultivation and immortality. His strength is ordinary, however, his looks and proficiency in chess, calligraphy, music, and painting make him an unrivaled senior brother. This, nonetheless, does not satisfy him, as he needs strength to grow in his cultivation journey. In desperation, he stumbles upon and activates the Destiny System, a cheat system in which a person can quickly increase their cultivation level by executing some silly random tasks. The Destiny System requires him to complete a first task that would reward him with the Supreme Holy Body, to confess his 18-year love to his beautiful female master, Master Yu Yao. If he fails to do this within 10 minutes, he will become a dog for life and lose fertility. Apparently, several male disciples had earlier confessed their love to Master Yu Yao, the merciless fairy and the Daoist sect leader, but suffered a woeful fate. Zhang Yi survived in the sect for 18 years only because he was not moved by lust. Well, I guess he is now tired of living. While contemplating his next line of action, Master Yu Yao appears and asks him why he is lost in thoughts. Zhang Yi is initially flustered and afraid, but he finds the courage to confess his feelings for her. Master Yu Yao, who believes in merciless and emotionless cultivation, is disappointed in him for allowing himself to develop such feelings. She then summons the moon sword, points it toward his neck, and threatens to cut off his bloodline and expel him from the sect. Just barely 2 minutes left to becoming a cute pet dog. He reveals how his love for her budded each time she encouraged him on his cultivation path, from when he was still a child until the present. Wishing not to allow anyone else to suffer for his confession, Zhang Yi jumps off the cliff, telling his master that he will still love her in the afterlife. Just then, he is saved by Yu Yao, who asks him if what he did for love was worth it. Zhang Yi says it's not for love, but for his master, and Master Yu Yao pushes him to the Taoist grounds in annoyance. Unexpectedly, the system informs him that he has been awarded the Supreme Holy Body. Does this mean that Master Yu Yao has feelings for him too? Does being in a cultivation Manhwa mean that he has unlimited rise? He does not have much time to think about this as Master Yu Yao continues scolding him. In a flash, a supreme phenomenon occurs. Power surges and blasts through his entire body, the explosive light evident across all surrounding areas and even into outer space. Rival sects observing the phenomenon worry that the end of all cultivators is coming, according to the ancients, saying that once a supreme holy body appears, the immortal road will be destroyed. On the other hand, Yu Yao is concerned about Zhang Yi's safety, and they argue. Just then, some invaders appear. The invaders are Senior Kinglian, the Grand Elder of the Earth Sect, Zhu Di, the sect leader of the Heavenly Sect, and Feng Wuji, Lord of Wind City. The elders congratulate Zhang Di for attaining the Supreme Holy Body and try to persuade him to join their sect, but he remains loyal to his master and refuses to join them. He believes they only want to use him for their selfish interests. Even Senior Kinglian's offer of endless pleasures does not tempt him as his eyes are only set on pleasing his master. A true simp indeed. I wonder if he is a Tier 3 sub. The rival sect leaders decide to take him by force, and a fight is inevitable. Zhang Yi is ready to defend the dignity of the Taoist sect, and Yu Yao is amazed at his newfound boldness. The three villains combine their magic energies against Zhang Di as they wield their swords to create a chi explosion, but Yu Yao swiftly steps in to block it with her moon sword. However, the impact of the explosion is too strong for her, and she weakens. The three elder villains then taunt her for protecting Zhang Di at her expense, but she insists they cannot take him by force and summons her disciples to prepare for defense. Zhang Yi wishes not to implicate the entire Taoist sect and prepares to intervene. However, another strange phenomenon occurs as lightning sparks in the sky, signaling the birth of the legendary double pupil holy body. It occurs from the direction of the Heavenly Sect, making Jodi exit for his sect in excitement. Seeing that Jodi has disregarded them, the other two villains find excuses to leave, because they're not strong enough to defeat Yu Yao without him. However, when Kinglian is about to zoom off, Zhang Yi grabs her leg back in anger, eventually tearing a piece of Kinglian's stocking as she tries to escape. The Destiny System activates right then and gives Zhang Yi the new task of getting Kinglian's intimate clothes within 3 days with a reward of the Taoist fruit. This Destiny System must have been created by a Redditor. Zhang Yi may be a follower of the Taoist celibate ways, but attaining supernatural powers is more important. What good is celibacy anyway? He hatches a plan to execute this task by convincing Yu Yao that they need to go on the offensive by spying on the Earth sect. However, Yu Yao says he will be accompanied by her favorite disciple, Zhang Luoyin, whom Zhang Yi despises. 2 days later, Zhang Yi and Zhang Luoyin are journeying to the Earth sect. Luoyin tries to converse with Zhang Yi, but he shuts her up while revealing that he dislikes her, because she caused problems for him the last time they went on such a duty due to her gluttony. Luoyin nonetheless informs Zhang Yi of the identity of the person who awakened the double pupil holy body to be Yihoran. Meanwhile, Yihoran bears a grudge against Zhang Yi for losing to him in a literary competition. Zhang Yi thinks Yihoran might want revenge, as the supreme holy body and the double pupil holy body neutralize each other when in contact, causing him to wonder if this is predestined. Watching from afar, Yu Yao admires the duo and wishes they would mature through this experience. She also wonders if feelings are that important, seeing how Zhang Yi expressed his love for her. She definitely has no idea what her hero is up to. At the Earth Square front yard, Zhang Yi is welcomed by many disciples who gush over him, mostly for his looks. Master King Lian welcomes him, and Zhang Yi deceptively informs her that he came to study the details of her private undergarments, Taoism. She is pleased to assist him, but leads him into the sect without Luoyin. He asks her why Luoyin has been left out, and she replies that Luoyin is still young for what they will discuss. This may lead to gland combat. Zhang Yi senses it might be a trap, but plays along when he realizes she is leading him into her room to seduce him. While she is undressing, Zhang Yi successfully grabs the intimate clothes and runs away. The hunted became hunter. As he escapes, Luoyin, being pursued for eating a fruit from the Earth Sect's tree, joins him. Zhang Yi gets furious at this, but is more concerned about getting away quickly. Unfortunately, they are caught by Zhen Huayan, the daughter of the Earth Sect leader, who appears to be familiar with Zhang Yi. It is revealed that Zhu Huayan had stolen Luoyin's hulu, a roasted meat snack, and Zhang Yi declares they are even. However, Zhu Huayan is more concerned about the punishment that will be given to Luoyin for stealing the Earth's Sect's vermilion fruit. Zhang Yi tries to convince her that there is no need for a fight, but at the same time, Luoyin wishes to avenge the initial theft of her hulu. Using the enlargement technique, she enlarges a sugar-coated hulu in her pocket and converts it into a weapon, wielding it at Zhu Huayan. Zhu Huayan counters with her magical sword-breaking spell and shatters Luoyin's hulu weapon. Luoyin draws out another hulu and enlarges it with a double-heavy spell at a speed that marvels Huayan. They continue to combat each other, but Luoyin soon wins Huayan as she throws her off. Talk about being beaten by meatballs. Zhu Huayan's brother, Zhu Wuo, appears, insisting that Zhang Luoyin must pay for her crime. Using the divine purple technique, he rushes at Luoyin. However, Zhang Yi pulls the "You are not the only one who loves his sister" move and defends the attack on Luoyin by casting the sixfold and sky-clearing finger spells. The force pushes Huayan's brother to the ground, and he wonders how Zhang Yi can defeat him since they're in the same cultivation stage. Just then, King Lian is seen descending from the sky. King Lian asks Zhang Yi to stay back in the Earth Sect so they can explore more undergarments. Oh, sorry, she didn't actually say that. However, he declares that he and his sister need to leave because they have no unfinished business anymore. King Lian is unwilling to let her prey go that easily, and she plots with Huayan and Wuo on how to make them stay. Zhu Wuo, an expert in literature, believing that he could defeat Zhang Yi in poetry, challenges him to a poem recitation over drinks to regain his pride after the terrible defeat, and Zhang agrees to it. They then proceed to the top floor of the Earth's Sect Heavenly Pavilion for the competition, which excites the onlookers to cheer them on. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Huayan and Luoyin engage in a food competition. Of course, they are competing based on their area of expertise too. I'm not surprised they stole from each other earlier. At the Heavenly Pavilion, Zhu Wuo uses wine as the topic and recites a poem, which attracts the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and thrills everyone. Then, King Lian suggests that Zhang Yi use the word moon in Master Yu You's name to compose a poem. This triggers a destiny mission for Zhang Yi to compose a poem on the spot that would move Zhu Wuo's and Elder King Lian's hearts, with only 15 minutes to do this. He then uses the recollection technique to search Earth's memory for a poem, and soon begins to recite the poem, attracting a burst of energy that turns the day into night and causes the moon to manifest. The poem leaves everyone, including Zhu Wuo, with emotions of love, and they all cheer Zhang Yi. Even in the faraway Daoist sect, Yu Yao sees this phenomenon and feels strangely touched by it. As a result, the system rewards him with 20 mana magic points for his success. King Lian, realizing that the poem has Yu Yao written all over it, gets jealous and asks Zhang Yi if he has ever put her in his heart, and if he can recite a poem for her. Zhang Yi asks King Lian why she will not give her love to the Earth Sect's disciples instead, and he confesses that she is only a warm-hearted senior to him. Ouch, senior zoned. King Lian, who already thinks she caught some green lights however, insists that for Zhang Yi to steal her intimate clothes, he must like her, and that she tries to convince Zhang Yi to become an Earth Sect disciple, of course, with the fringe benefits of seeing more buried treasure. Just then, the Daoist sect elders responsible for protecting Zhang Yi and Luoyan arrive. Well, I guess Zhang Yi would need no protection if he joins the Earth Sect. I bet you know what I mean. A fight soon ensues between the elders and King Lian throws them out of her sect with one strike, frightening Zhang Yi and Luoyan, who wonder at her powers. As King Lian mocks them, Yu Yao suddenly appears with the two elders, and disciples of the Earth Sect admire her beauty and merciless charisma. King Lian then reveals to everyone that Zhang Yi stole her intimate clothes, causing his previous admirers to believe he is a pervert. Yu Yao nonetheless insists on taking her disciple with her. However, King Lian, reluctant to take Yu Yao alone in a fight, withdraws but promises her revenge in the future. Then she gives her stockings as a parting gift to Zhang Yi, who insists he is not a pervert. After Zhang Yi and Luoyan return to the Daoist sect, Zhang Yi is told that Yu Yao wants to see him, and he hopes it is for some private tutoring. However, when they meet, Yu Yao informs him about a beast beheading competition, a grand gathering held by the great Zhao dynasty. She wants him to attend to cultivate his abilities further. Zhang Yi then inquires if Yi Horan will be attending, and she replies that it would be natural for Yi Horan to participate in the competition since he is a heavenly sect disciple, and adds that the fight between them is inevitable. Zhang Yi then assures his master that he will not bring shame to the Daoist sect. Yu Yao presents him with a divine sword, the Yang, forged with the moon sword and containing the most magical energy. Overwhelmed by her generosity, he desires to express his gratitude and reciprocate her kindness. This triggers a destiny task in which Zhang Yi is to share the previously rewarded Daoist fruit with Master Yu Yao. He must accomplish this task within 3 minutes, and in return, he will be granted the coveted immortal poet sword technique. Deep within, Zhang Yi resolves that even without such a task, he would still be wholeheartedly devoted to repaying his esteemed master. On giving her the fruit, Yu Yao wonders how Zhang Yi got the fruit with his current strength and asks him if he is taking shortcuts. He reveals that the fruit is a prize from the discussion with Senior King Lian, and persuades her to eat the fruit to enable her to pass the tribulation stage of cultivation, which she is about to reach. She rebukes him for caring more about others than himself in a ruthless world. However, Zhang reminds her that she did the same for him when she gave him the sword. He then breaks the fruit in half and offers it to his master, and after she receives it, the system rewards him with the immortal poet sword technique. Yu Yao beats the fruit and divine power surges through her. At the same time, the same energy surges through Zhang Yi, and Yu Yao is surprised that he is strong enough to withstand it. Nonetheless, Yu Yao warns him not to underestimate the enemy and to be careful. He agrees to this, and Zhang Luoyan is set to accompany him. On the way to the competition, Luoyan roasts a pig to eat, but a demonic beast steals it, and she pursues the beast as advised by Zhang Yi. When the beast almost escapes, Zhang Yi uses the immortal binding art to capture it, making it weak, and it turns into a cute little demoness. It begins to plead for mercy, but Luoyan doesn't listen to her pleas and intends to eat it. You all know she is a foodie anyway. However, the creature then reveals that it is a reincarnation of the divine beast, Bai Zi, which is under protection and not to be eaten. Zhang Yi does not believe this, calling it an ordinary loli. While Luoyan does not care what it is, she just wants to eat. Just then, the destiny system triggers, revealing that the creature is indeed a Bai Zi and requiring Zhang Yi to subdue it in 5 minutes. Otherwise, Luoyan would become a dog. Zhang Yi immediately decides to test his strength by subduing the creature with his beast-taming arts. However, he surprisingly fails and Luoyan transforms into a dog for a day. Tables do turn for sure. He then realizes that the normal beast-taming technique cannot subdue Bai Zi, and Bai Zi taunts Luoyan, who has become a beast herself. Luoyan strikes her, and Zhang Yi uses the opportunity to enforce a master-servant contract spell on Bai Zi. Finally overpowering it, They then use it to transport themselves to the Nether Mountain, where the competition will occur. The next day, Yihorn is observing the assembly of participants for the beast beheading competition when CG, a mysterious spirit that has possessed him for 3 years, appears. She offers him help, but he rebuffs it, revealing she forced him to awaken the double pupil holy body. As he is about to leave for the competition, a few participants mock him for being pretentious by awakening a holy body, injuring him so much that he slaughters them ruthlessly in one strike. CG then harnesses their blood for the dark blood chi. Some pretty gross vampire moves. Soon Zhang Yi and Luan arrive at the venue with Bai Zi, and Zhang Yi finally meets Yihorn. Then the Zhou Dynasty's special envoys announce that the beast beheading competition is about to begin. The prize for the winner is 1,000,000 spirit stones and the title of Immortal Master. Zhang Yi is initially uninterested, but Yihorn then vows to Zhang Yi that he will win the competition to clear his name, triggering a task from the Destiny system to win the competition in 3 hours. This prompts him to take action. The chapter opens with the competition officially beginning at the Nether Mountain. Both Zhang Yi and Yihorn do not jump into the frenzy immediately. Zhang Yi is irked because the noisy enthusiasm of the other competitors could summon a horde of demonic beasts that could kill them all, while Yihorn's strategy is to allow the others to scout and then catch all the beasts in one go. Just then, a powerful, gigantic demonic beast in the spiritualization stage of cultivation, the Shiba Inu King, appears. The other competitors are terrified, and before they can dodge or fight, the beast beats them into a stupor, one after the other. After their inglorious end, an expert in the mixed elements, sect Maxanshi, who had won the previous competition, rises to challenge the beast and they exchange taunts. Maxanshi then displays his cultivation expertise with the 1,000 Birds Lightning Whip spell, which he lunges at the beast. To everyone's surprise, the bulky beast is faster and throws a punch at his opponent, which sends him flying into the forest. He falls badly, almost ending his life. Looks like the sky was his limit, literally. Zhang Yi decides to intervene, launching a surprise attack at the beast with the Yang sword. The beast tries to come at him, but he slips to the side and almost cuts the beast in half. The terrifying beast is terrified, realizing that Zhang Yi outmatches it, and it scampers away for safety. A few miles away, a demonic beast army is seen pursuing Luan and Bai Zi. Luan must have tried to roast one of them for lunch. Everyone, including Yihorn, joins in to kill the beasts. Zhang Yi decides it is time to use the Immortal Poet technique, which creates a torrent of sword chi, unleashing the mighty Yellow River waters from heaven. This sweeps the horde of demonic beasts into the ocean, never to return. Luan's punishment also ends, and she returns to her human form. At the observation platform, the envoys wonder at Zhang Yi's powers, which killed off over 3,000 beasts. On the other end, Zhang Yi feels bored, as the beast killing so far has been too easy. Right then, a tiger appears to scavenge on fallen beasts, and both Zhang Yi and Yihorn desire to hunt it. However, this leads to the two clashing head-on. Angry Yihorn then unleashes his double pupil ability, aiming to kill Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi blocks the attack immediately, and on seeing that Zhang Yi is stronger than he imagined, Yihorn unleashes the power of the blood pupil. But Zhang Yi quickly fends it off again. Their sporn reveals that they match each other in strength. Zhang Yi and Yihorn's fight pauses the beast hunting, as it gets so intense that everyone else retreats to avoid getting caught in the middle. The beasts take advantage of the battle to ambush them, but they both destroy the beasts with the flick of a finger without taking an eye off each other. Yihorn then uses the forbidden blood chi from the slain beasts to create a variety of weapons, including flying daggers, which he launches at Zhang Yi. Combining this with the double pupil state with which Yihorn can see Zhang Yi's weaknesses, he almost defeats Zhang Yi. However, Zhang Yi decides to use the explosive power of the Supreme Holy Body, countering Yihorn's power of the blood pupil. From a distance, Sijia remarks that Zhang Yi is the stronger opponent, but that Yihorn has a stronger desire to win, which is why she possessed him to rule the world of cultivation. Then, the special envoys appear and end the duel, stating that the competition was not for personal fights and closing the competition. They announced the calculation of the beasts killed. While other competitors had killed only 1,000, Yihorn had killed 3,600. Surprisingly, Zhang Yi emerged as the winner, with 3,650 beasts killed. Not only does Zhang Yi win fame and wealth with the competition, but he also wins 30 points of magic power and a special random skill book from the Destiny system. Yihorn feels even more humiliated, as he had used Seiji's help for the blood chi. Chi promises to help him take revenge that night. Upon reaching his heavenly sect, Jodi, his master, scolds Yi Horan for disgracing him. Yi Horan retorts in anger, calling him short-sighted and trashy, but everyone rebukes him for this. He storms out enraged, vowing that he will one day slaughter everyone in the cultivation world and rebuild it to his taste. The Avengers should watch out for the next Thanos. At the penthouse of the beast beheading competition, Seiji's soul state suddenly attacks Zhang Yi by sucking his blood. However, fortunately for Zhang Yi, the destiny system triggers and gives him a task to defeat the invisible enemy. Surprised at this task, he begins to feel a strange aura in the room, and just as the spirit attempts to suck his blood, he attacks her. Seijin is surprised that he can detect her and hold her down. She frees herself, and Zhang Yi uses the observation arts to predict her movements from the disturbances in the flow of qi. He catches her leg, but she flings him into the air with her sharp claws. What's with Zhang Yi's fetish for grabbing ladies' legs, though? Zhang Yi is not alone in the room, as other drunk female disciples are resting, and he warns them to avoid the danger, but quite unfortunately, they misinterpret this, thinking that Zhang Yi is touching them. As Luan and Bai Zi wake, Sijia leaves, but not without Zhang Yi tearing off a piece of her clothes by mistake, or was it? With Zhang Yi, you can never say. The system then rewards Zhang Yi for his victory with the smiling half-step insanity pill. Bai Zi senses the strange aura and explains to Zhang Yi that his attacker was a soul body, an individual that was powerful when they were alive and still retained their consciousness and cultivation after death. After that, Sijia returns to Yi Horan, complaining that Zhang Yi molested her. Yi Horan reveals that he doesn't care about her and only wants to eliminate Zhang Yi so he can dominate the cultivation world, which makes Sijia conclude that he is truly ruthless. If a vampire says you are ruthless, you must be the devil himself. 2 days later, Zhang Yi and Luan return to the Daoist sect. Yu Yao summons Zhang Yi, and it is apparent that she is angry with him after investigating the matter of Elder King Lian. Seems like Zhang Yi's little adventures have been let out of the bag. She warns him not to be promiscuous, as they have cultivated the merciless way. But Zhang Yi thinks she is only jealous. She sends him out, and upon leaving, he meets Luan crying, telling him that she is being forced into an arranged marriage by her father. Luan's father had used her as a tool for power and betrothed her to the crown prince of the great Zhou dynasty when she was still a child. Now he wants her to marry the crown prince in 10 days, but she does not want to, and she suggests that Zhang Yi pretend to be her lover so she can break the engagement. He is shocked and refuses, as he does not want to go against the crown prince. Moreover, they will be expelled from the Daoist sect if the master finds out. Luan hugs him regardless, and on seeing them hugging, Master Yu Yao becomes furious as she asks why they are hugging each other. While Zhang Yi attempts to explain, Luan announces that they are preparing to marry and return to her parents' place. She drags Zhang Yi away with her and brings Bai Zi along. Yu Yao then warns that they will be punished when they return. On their way, Zhang Yi is pissed at her and insists he will never pretend to be her lover as a righteous man. I do not see a righteous man anywhere. The destiny system is triggered by his statement and tasks him with helping Luan break her engagement for a reward of God's brush, which will give him the ability to paint anything into reality. This entices him, and he reluctantly gives in to helping her. Even righteous men have their price. On the journey, Luan reveals that, although born to a wealthy father, her mother was mistreated and sent to the streets with her. She adds that her mother had to work odd jobs to survive, but she was eventually killed by a poison. Out of empathy, Zhang Yi promises to protect her as a senior brother. They eventually get to the general's residence in the Zhou dynasty, and upon seeing Luan, her father, General Zhang Wufeng, stepmother, Madame Zhang, and half-brother Zhang He act unfriendly. She tells them immediately that she has come to break the engagement with the crown prince and is in love with her senior brother, Zhang Yi. As expected, they are all furious. However, Zhang Yi decides to take care of things and avenge Luan's mother. So he uses the body control arts to open Madame Zhang's mouth against her will and then throws the smiling half-step pill into it. Madame Zhang begins to dance uncontrollably and starts to spill the truth until she eventually confesses that she killed Luan's mother, adding that she will also make Luan marry the crown prince so she can be her money-making tool. On hearing this, Luan angrily hits Madame Zhang and she dies instantly. Luan's fists must have gotten super strong from gobbling all that meat. General Zhang is shocked and gets angry at Luan for taking revenge on her stepmother. He then attempts to attack Zhang Yi. But as Zhang Yi prepares to defend himself, the Crown Prince, Shen Zhangking, arrives with his sister. Seeing the Crown Prince, Zhang Yi carries his dead mother and demands the Crown Prince would punish Luoyan for killing his mother. But the Crown Prince shocks him as he is not concerned and instead turns to Luoyan, the reason he came. Princess Shen Chenyu and Luoyan embrace, revealing they are childhood friends. The princess also immediately recognizes Zhang Yi and tells him she still has his portrait in the palace. The Crown Prince, surprised to see Zhang Yi, asks if he has come to hand over Luoyan to him. But Zhang Yi informs him that he is there to break the engagement instead. The Crown Prince is alarmed that Zhang Yi would dare oppose him, and despite pleas from his sister and Luoyan that he should not force the marriage, he does not change his mind. Zhang Yi challenges him to a duel on the condition that the Crown Prince will break the engagement if Zhang Yi wins, but can decide whatever he wants if Zhang Yi loses. Zhang Yi, still angry because of his mother's death, attempts to attack Zhang Yi, but Zhang Yi defeats him in a punch. Shocked by this, the prince calls his 4 golden armored guards to fight Zhang Yi, but he smashes their golden balls, ending their entire bloodline. Although they are golden armor guards, their golden balls got no armor. The onlookers question his unethical fighting style, and while the guards are embarrassed that a mere cultivator is beating them, they try to get revenge by unleashing their immense strength. But Zhang Yi defeats them in an instant. The prince decides to fight for himself, but one punch from Zhang Yi sends him to the ground. However, quite strangely, the prince kind of feels turned on by the blow. I guess he likes things a little bit rough. Zhang Yi decides to go rougher, and then summons the rocket launcher, RPG Spiritual Chi, and hurls it at the prince, leading to an explosion. Still, the prince is pleased with the feeling and undeterred. He rises just before Zhang Yi kicks him in the groin, as he is threatened, not wanting to lose his ability to make babies. The prince then admits defeat, and amazed at Zhang Yi's proficiency, he calls him his god. He finally agrees to cancel the engagement on the condition that Zhang Yi accepts him as his disciple and into the Daoist sect. However, Zhang Yi refuses, stating that the Daoist sect only accepts female disciples in a bid to push him away. But the Crown Prince insists and asks Zhang Yi to be his elder brother then. Zhang Yi sees this as an opportunity to have free access into the palace in the future, so he accepts. He receives the God Brush as a reward from the system, and soon, the princess also tells him she wants to join the Daoist sect, since he said only females are accepted there, trying to use this as an opportunity to get close to him. So they can get some moments alone together learning some very interesting and intimate cultivation techniques. You know what I mean? Zhang Yi tries to refuse, but the system soon triggers, tasking him with accepting her request. Yep, the system is definitely made by a sim. Princess Chenyu leaves the imperial city with Zhang Yu and Luoyan on Baizi as their mount. While Zhang Yi has some naughty thoughts, with Chenyu also admiring him. Baizi grows weary from hunger and crash lands in the middle of nowhere. Zhang Yi goes to look for food. Zhang senses a spiritual chi and follows it, finding a natural spiritual spring. However, he notices that someone is bathing in the spring. Surprisingly, it is Kinglian. She comments that they are predestined to be together. He asks why she is there, and she tells him she was injured while hunting demonic beasts and is recuperating in the spiritual spring. She tries again to seduce him to be with her. She might be many years his senior, but he finds it difficult to resist her advances as she still has a banging body, and yet he also does not want to disappoint his master. Suddenly, they are interrupted by the sound of the nether demon sheep that injured Kinglian earlier, which is at the peak of the spiritualization stage. The demon sheep sprints towards Zhang Yi, but Kinglian pushes Zhang Yi to the side and faces the beast herself. Zhang Yi uses the God Brush, and despite combining ancient and modern artist techniques, he conjures an ugly parlor dog to fight against the wild demon sheep. Even 6-year-olds draw better than this, and as expected of a parlor dog, the beast easily smashes it. He then creates a simple net, which effectively traps the beast. Kinglian then casts a spell to create the ripples of Tao, ultimately killing the beast. Kinglian praises him and resumes seducing him as a reward for saving her. The destiny system triggers and gives him a task to recite a poem for Kinglian, which will help him suppress her desire. He recites a beautiful poem, which causes the spiritual spring to blossom, pleasing Kinglian, and the system rewards him with spiritual painting ability. However, Kinglian's desire intensifies and Zhang Yi fears this will be the end of his righteousness. Zhang Yi defiantly declares, "Kinglian, you may take my body, but my heart will forever be beyond your grasp." Intrigued, King Lian uses the opportunity to question him about his feelings for Yu. She asks him to rate his affection on a scale of 10, to which Zhang Yi honestly responds with 5 points. Enraged by feeling undervalued, King Lian sinks her teeth into his shoulder, warning him that she will eagerly claim his body in due time. You'd think that she wants to have him for dinner. Oh well, Zhang Yi anticipates a challenge in the future, as King Lian has set her sights on him. Feeling a tinge of sadness, Zhang Yi fears he may succumb to King Lian's temptation once his Taoist, righteous heart wanes. Returning with the beast, Zhang Yi's companions rejoice, eager to roast and feast upon it. However, Princess Chen Yu catches a whiff of a woman's scent emanating from Zhang Yi and confronts him. Despite his denial and laughter, she senses something awry about Zhang Yi and is determined to uncover Zhang Yi's vulnerability and exploit it for her request. They eventually return to the Taoist sect. Master Yu arrives, seething with anger at Zhang Yi and Luoyan, as they had deserted the sect to get married. The princess explains that Zhang Yi only intervened to break Luoyan's engagement. However, Master Yu demands to know her identity, prompting the princess to divulge more information than necessary. Consequently, the master refuses to accept her as a disciple and locks Zhang Yi and Luoyan in the void bag. Princess Chen Yu pleads for the master to be lenient, and she kneels persistently in front of the master's room, even when the rain starts falling. Her resoluteness reminds Yu Diao of how she started her own cultivation journey, and she eventually accepts her. Yu Yao then checks on the duo in the void bag when she discovers they are in a compromising position. Zhang Yi is definitely the definition of a playboy. Master Yu Yao angrily releases Zhang Yu and Zhang Luoyan from the bag, punishing them by assigning them the responsibility of cleaning the sect alongside Princess Chen Yu. Surprisingly, they are all content with the punishment. Zhang Yi is pleased to have completed the task assigned by the cheat system, and is rewarded with magic power, while Zhang Luoyan and Shen Chenyu are happy to be together and relieved that Shen Chenyu has been accepted into the Daoist sect by the master. After 7 days of cleaning, Yu Yo arrives and grants them a day off to discuss something important with Zhang Yi. She reveals that the forbidden land of the barbarians is opened, and she wants him to obtain the barbarian king's blood, which would enhance his bloodline power and allow him to advance beyond the spiritualization stage. Is this some blood sacrifice? She instructs him to bring Chen Yu and Luoyan along for training and provides a chi-refilling replenishing elixir. They embark on their journey, but Luoyan becomes worried upon discovering food scarcity in the demon city where they arrive. Zhang Yi senses the presence of numerous demons with formidable cultivation. 2 servants of the demon kingdom attempt to harass Zhang Yi, but he easily deals with them in one blow. Chen Xiaokui, the saintess of the southern demon kingdom, arrives and executes the servants for offending Lord Zhang and inciting potential conflict between the demon kingdom and the human race through side arts, indicating she has attained the spiritualization stage. She approaches Zhang Yi and proposes cooperation. He assists her in finding the 9-tailed holy jade while she retrieves the barbarian king's blood for him. Despite protests from Luoyan and Chen Yu, the destiny system urges him to accept the collaboration, and finally he agrees. Huza of the demon tiger tribe appears in the middle of the scuffle between Chen Xiaokui and Zhang Yu's companions, wondering why she is cooperating with Zhang Yi. Chen Xiaokui's retort humiliates him, leading his companions to attempt an attack on Zhang Yi. Surprisingly, Bai Zi defends him with the Bai Zai paladin kick, finishing them off. Hu Zai, enraged, decides to take them on, but Chen Xiaokui hits him for attempting to provoke a war between the human and demon races. She then leads Zhang Yi and his friends to a tavern to discuss business. At the tavern, Zhang Yi notices that Yi Horn is present. Meanwhile, Long Tianyi, a saint from the dragon tribe, meets with Hu Zi to partner with him and defeat Zhang Yi to expand the reputation of his tribe. Just as Yi Horn contemplates regaining his pride by reclaiming the barbarian king's blood for himself, Long Tianyi shows up and challenges Zhang Yi to a fight. Zhang Yi calls his bluff, while Yi Horn is only interested in taking advantage of the brewing fight to kill Zhang Yi. Just then, Zhang Yi wisely sets Yi Horn up by diverting Long Tianyi's attention to Yi Horn. Long Tianyi identifies Yi Horn as an arch-enemy of the dragon race, especially after he defeated their 9th prince. He launches an explosive lightning strike at Yi Horn, and Yi Horn retaliates with a powerful blood chi. Long Tianyi, however, continues striking at his opponent, much to the admiration of Zhang Yi. Yi tries to persuade Long Chanyi to face Zhang Yi instead, but when CJ tells him that Zhang Yi will attack him when the fight with Long Chanyi has weakened him, he decides to activate the blood pupil spell for a blood explosion art, which is very dangerous for use in an enclosed place. Zhang Yi utilizes his body protection arts, shielding the people around him from the explosion's impact. Yi grows furious but departs, accompanied by CJ, who anticipates a future conversation with Zhang Yi due to his immense strength. Long Chanyi also boils with anger, vowing to deal with Zhang Yi once he finishes with Yi. However, Zhang Yi does not allow Long Chanyi to go in peace and humiliates him thoroughly, stripping him of his dragon treasures and some body parts. Eventually, the group of 5 reaches the Forbidden Land. Upon entry, they encounter a grim scene of numerous corpses scattered about, and the atmosphere feels awry. In their search for the 9-tailed holy jade, Zhang Yi realizes that the deceased cannot take their possessions with them, prompting him to gather the treasures they have left behind. Suddenly, the corpses begin to stir. In haste, the 5 seek refuge in an audience hall, where they come face to face with 4 vampires. Chen Xianqi casts her fox-binding art spell, while Zhang Yi utilizes the immortal poet's sword technique and shadow sportsmanship, killing the vampires at once. Subsequently, a portal opens before them. They deduce that it leads to the entrance of the Forbidden Land's treasure house, as some of the vampires guiding it have perished, causing it to unlock naturally. Zhang Yi decides to explore the treasure house with Chen Xianqi, while the remaining 2 group members stay behind to guard the entrance. Soon, a horde of zombies attacks, but Princess Chenyu summons her white cat and enlarges it with her special technique. The cat successfully deals with the vampires. Meanwhile, in the portal, Zhang Yi and Luoyan encounter the dreadful undead barbarian king, Carnage's tyrant. Would they make it out of the barbarian's king's den dead, undead, or alive? Let us know if you want the next part in the comment section by commenting confession. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.